Sorry about that. There's an error that I did. All right. Welcome to our webinar. All right. Just give me a second. Just gonna prep my screen. Lost my screen here. Um, all right. And we are back. Here we go. All right, so welcome to our webinar. It's 8:31. We'll just give everyone a few seconds to dial in. And we are all here for the webinar on Mastering Facilitation, the secrets to inclusive facilitation. All right. Okay. So I'm super excited to have all of you here. And in this session, we will be talking about, on one hand, the secret ingredients of facilitation, as I like to call it, how to utilize visual aids and different tools while facilitating, and also about how to create, what are the different tools you can use to create belonging and to drive results. All right. So before I kick off with the content side, I would like to highlight a few things here. So here, this webinar is being recorded for you. And if you need a copy of the slides that I will be showing you, we will email it to you. What you can do is also drop us a quick note at hello@leadershiptribe.com, and my colleagues will send over the slides on Monday. All right. So a little introduction about me, who I am. I'm based out of Bangalore, which is in India, and I come with about 12 plus years of experience. So I am a coach and a facilitator, and I'm also an accredited Kanban trainer, and also deliver different trainings on Scrum, product ownership, agile coaching, facilitation, and few others. So I started my career in the hospitality industry, and then I moved into project management and slowly dipped my feet into the world of facilitation and coaching. And apart from that, I also work with teams to set them up for success and, to working towards high performance. And yes, I do some work on transformation programs also. So that's a bit about me. And yes, outside of work, we've got two lovely dogs that I have, Luna and Millie. Love spending time with them, and also a bit of outdoor sports. So here's our game plan. Okay, so we've done a little bit of the introductions and greetings, and I will also be introducing you to our stakeholder, as in, our sponsor, the organization that I work for, that I will talk about shortly. Okay, apart from that, we'll look at what facilitation is, what are the different skills, the different tools and techniques, and I will also bring in few examples of mine from my own experiences. So a little bit about Leadership Tribe. As I said, they are the sponsor, and I work for Leadership Tribe also. So we are a group of dynamic. We're a dynamic group of facilitators and coaches that come with a vast number of years of experience. So some of the services that we provide, we are, we do tailored workshops, customized workshops for private or public batches as requested, trainings, upskilling workforce with tailored programs. It could be the agile methodologies, leadership trainings, team, and such. And also into coaching and mentoring. And we also do quite a bit of consulting. All right. So that is a little bit about us in brief. So if you're interested in, understanding a little bit more about what our services are, or if you need any kind of support, again, the email ID that my colleague had dropped earlier, hello@Leadership Tribe, please do, send us a mail, and we're happy to get back to you with more information. So earlier in the week, I had dropped a poll question on our Leadership Tribe page on LinkedIn. And this was the question that I had asked the audience out there. What's the biggest obstacle you face to actively participate in facilitation sessions? Fear of judgment or speaking up, unclear objectives, lack of engagement, or anything else? And, we had given the option for them to put it in the chat box also on LinkedIn. Now, any of you that have logged in here, most welcome to drop in your answer also. What is it that's your biggest obstacle for you? I'm happy to keep an eye out and see and look out for some answers. It could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So what did the audience say? These were the results. Almost 50% of them said that there is a fear of judgment or fear of speaking up that they have, and otherwise also unclear objectives. So 50-50 on those. And, I definitely do resonate to the first one over here, as there was also a time, where I felt the same. Like I would be nervous in front of a group of people to speak in front of them. And I used to have this back chatter, in my head that, oh my God, what are they going to think? What are they going to listen to me? And, these kind of thoughts. So what I would like to highlight is that even if you are an introvert, which I am also one, you can be an amazing facilitator. And the reason I say this is because facilitation is all about understanding your audience. Okay. So as a facilitator, the spotlight is not on it's not on you, the facilitation aspect, but it is on your audience. Okay. It is about your audience. The experience that you leave your audience with is what makes you stand out as a facilitator. So coming back to talking about facilitation, in our past webinars, we've done quite a few on facilitation. We've even spoken about the definition of facilitation, and I'll quickly highlight that, which is that it is a fluid process using variety of tools, techniques, and different activities to empower participants. It's about creating that clarity, bringing in that collaboration, and bringing in that commitment to be able to come towards a solution which is created by the group, and you're maximizing the productivity. So we're going to look at facilitation a little more. And I would like to show you this diagram here. So there is usually a connotation or an assumption that facilitation is always only about a group or a meeting or with multiple people or, trainings, right? So as a facilitator, I have been in one-on-one meetings also that utilize some elements of facilitation using different tools and techniques. And also on the other hand, I've been part of meetings which are also at the team level, team level, business unit level, and also at the enterprise level. So no matter what, the meeting is about, it is all about identifying the value of what you are trying to deliver. Ultimately, it is about the value that you're trying to deliver. You're capturing that value through different frameworks, different tools. You could also be using Scrum, Kanban, Safe, or any of these other frameworks also alongside with your facilitation that's taking place. But as a facilitator, what's important is that you are connecting. You are using these tools to connect with your audience and drive value. So this is facilitation in a nutshell and what I do on a regular basis. So while I'm, playing at this game and, while I'm in this arena of facilitation, there are some challenges that I have personally faced. And I would love to hear your thoughts also. What are some of the challenges you faced? So some that I have observed are that, you go into a meeting and you see people on, or maybe, since I do a lot of trainings, I go into training and I can see somebody is on their phones, and in your head, you're thinking, oh my God, there is a session happening here. Can you, bring your focus back here instead of looking at your phone, right? So there is a little chatter in your head that happens, internal thoughts that occur. And that can also sometimes rub off of people. Or it could also be the energy in the room that sometimes people are yawning or you feel that they're feeling exhausted, that, you see the energy level has dropped. So you really think, what are the things you can do as a facilitator to bring this energy back or focus back to the room? On the other hand, what can also happen is that at times you, prepare and do all the back end work, do all the prepping. But once you're in the situation, things change. This is what I'm talking about, adapting to unexpected situations. So there was a training that I was once delivering at a hospital environment for a group of people. And with all the prepping that I'd done, I had a very nice, PPT with very minimal slides, but I was focused. I was, in my head, I had the thing that, oh, once I'm there, there will be a power, projector. And I'd been told also there would be a projector. So when I went to that room and I noticed there's no projector, I had a mini panic attack internally. All right. And I was like, okay, there's no projector. What do? I've prepped entirely, based on the fact that my audience will be able to see what I'm talking about. That was the intent with which my internal thoughts started reeling around. What did I do in that instance? Took me a few seconds, finished my panic, and then I, snapped back out of it. And I told myself, okay, hold on. We are in the situation, I don't have a projector. What can I do? So since I had a little time anyhow, I had a look at what I had on my slides. I tweaked things around. So adapting to these unexpected situations can happen. Okay. Now there will be times, that, you know, these kind of instances will occur. And remember, it is okay for that to happen. It will happen no matter how prepared you are. All right. I'm curious to know, put it in the chat box if you have failed, if you've experienced similar situations like this, where you've planned end to end and then suddenly realize, oh, things have changed. What do I do? Yeah. I see a couple of yeses that have come directly to me here. So nice to see that I'm not the only one here who goes through these kind of situations or thought processes. Okay. So this brings me to talk about a small case study. Yeah. A small case study over here. So this is about a startup which specializes in developing innovative, software. Now this is for a healthcare company industry. So we're not talking about which organization it is, keeping the confidentiality aspect in mind. But the point we're trying to drive here is that this organization here, despite its success when it came to the product innovation aspect, the organization was facing, challenges with internal communication, meeting productivity and team engagement. Okay. So these were the challenges that were taking place. So what were we doing in this situation? So in this situation, one of the facilitation tools that we introduced to them was something called Powers. It's one of my favorite. And there are previous webinars also that talk about Powers in detail, or even the Agile Team Facilitation course that I teach, we go in depth into this. So when I talk about Powers, Powers, Powers is purpose. What's the purpose of the meeting? What's the outcome we are trying to drive here? O for outcomes. The W, what's in it for me or what's in it for them as participants? And then E, engagement. How are you going to engage them? What are the different tools you're going to use? And then the R, roles and responsibilities. What are my roles as a facilitator? What are the roles and responsibilities of the audience that I'm working with also, right? And lastly, the S in powers, self-care, which I personally think is the very, very important with how we work today. Looking after yourself and looking after your audience. So this was a tool, one of the tools that we introduced with them. Now, the results that we saw over a period of time, about 3 to 6 months in, and what we noticed was there was significant improvement in the meetings, the efficiency of the meetings, the engagement of the teams, the conversations that they were having, and even which resulted in better outcomes with the project also, right? Meetings became more focused, there was more productivity with it, and there were clearer actions and responsibilities that were getting assigned. So what was also happening was the team members were feeling, part of the game, feeling more valued, feeling more understood and heard, which led to a more positive shift in the organizational culture, right? So as facilitators, there are some skills that you need in hand that can help you drive any kind of change. So the skills that I'm talking about are these. So think of it as facilitation as an art. It is a form, okay? It requires a unique blend of different skills to guide the teams through that iterative cycle, and also, for development and continuous improvement. So some of these are some essential skills here: mastering communication, active listening, where you're truly paying attention to what team members are saying, being heard, both verbally and non-verbal language also, picking up those cues, picking up those emotions, right? On the other hand, clear and concise language, where you're not using jargons, you're very clear with words. If don't go too technical also, find a balance depending on the context and situation, or the kind of questions that you use to probe and get more conversations out and, eliciting more information from the groups. On the other hand, you have collaboration and team building, creating that safe environment for everybody, inclusive environment. Everybody feels comfortable to share their ideas openly with, no judgment, and building that trust and psychological safety with the teams, and encouraging participation. There are different tools that you can use in facilitation, like round robin, anonymous questions, icebreakers, those are usually my favorite because that gets everybody to have a good laugh also at the same time, right? On the other hand, leadership and coaching is another aspect also. Setting clearer goals and expectations. Define what that objective is. And at each iteration, you're ensuring everyone is aligned to that goal, the North Star that's there. And on the other hand, providing feedback. So important. Offering, giving feedback as and when needed, right? And upskilling, technical knowledge, and here I've put in a bit of agile methodology also, but understanding the different frameworks, whatever the framework is being used, everybody's aligned and on the same page of what is being used. And on the other hand, even staying up to date with information, what's happening out there in the world, bringing in that, ensuring people are learning continuously. So this also brings me to highlight that in today's world, organizations need inclusive facilitation also. And when I talk about that, inclusive facilitation is all about creating that space where everyone feels welcome, feels heard, and is able to contribute meaningfully. It goes beyond just inviting somebody or a group of random people. It involves actively ensuring that that environment has that, you foster that environment for that participation, and everybody is there, you have their perspectives heard, and everybody feels part of the journey. Okay, now with inclusive facilitation, what are the benefits of it? On one hand, you have more comprehensive and richer solutions. When everybody feels safe to share those ideas, you're getting wider range of perspectives, right? Leading to better leading to idea innovation, leading to great ideas. On the other hand, also collaboration and trust is getting built as they go along through that journey, and people are feeling empowered, they're feeling valued, and they're feeling heard, that they want to then come in and be part of that journey again. Okay, so when it comes to inclusive facilitation, what you need to remember is that it is an ongoing process. Okay, it's not just a one-time event, it is a process. So by continuously learning and implementing these different tools and the different practices that are there, you can create more effective and more engaging experiences for everyone that's involved. Yeah. So here are some tips that I have. Quick ones. One on is embracing technology. So with the current times where a lot of our engagements are happening online, right? Be comfortable with technology. There are so many tools out there that you can use for collaboration. Like you've got your Mural, Miro, whiteboards, Canva, Zoom, Trello. Trello used to be one of my favorite also, and then Mural came along, and I think Mural won for me. But yeah, these are so many tools out there, and there are many, many, many more. On the other hand, be adaptable. So I think, like an example I gave you of my hospital situation, that things will change. So as a facilitator, you are dancing with your audience. You should be able to adapt to the needs and the situation. It could even be not just the materialistic aspect or the environment aspect. It could be the conversations also. That 1 second you're talking about something, but then depending on how the conversation flows, you go with the flow of it, or you're able to bring your audience back to the goal that you have with that session that you are driving, right? So being adaptable is important. And what I like to say is having a plan is important, but following it to the T isn't. So when you look at facilitation, it is a fluid process, right? It's not rigid. And lastly, celebrating progress or celebrating successes. So celebrate with your teams. It's not just the successes, but also the efforts that get put in. Have a little, appreciate the either the participants or your team members. A little bit of appreciation here and there makes everyone's day, right? So do that. It makes everybody feel involved and heard and acknowledged. So when facilitation is done right, it leaves a positive impact uh, for everyone around. So when I talk about positive impact, I'm referring to some of these here, positive emotions, where teams are looking forward to the meetings, and they're not dreading them as much because they're looking forward to it. Everybody's part of the game over there. Mental and physical health. They're putting in the pre-work, they're prepping in prior, which boosts their confidence levels, that they're looking forward to engaging in that session. Having those social contracts or agreements also helps. um, and on the other hand, boosting creativity also, that there is a lot of engagement, bringing the group in, sharing ideas, brainstorming also adds to it, and social relationships where you create that space for, like the icebreakers where you get to know people, or, you have those little chit chats also, and not just come into meetings, start talking about work, or vice versa, that you finished and you're out. Spend those few minutes getting to know each other, or if not there, outside that space also. So if you're wondering how to hone these skills of facilitation, there are some next steps here that I have as recommendations. So there are a few programs out there. One of them being, through through IC Agile. So we've got a boot camp that's happening. So you have Agile team facilitation, and you've got Agile coaching. So this is happening in March. Now, this boot camp is like it gives you a comprehensive understanding of what facilitation is and what the different coaching techniques are. It's focusing on building, effective communication, fostering collaboration, and also guiding teams towards higher levels of performance. So these are some elements that you learn through the course. So if you're interested in learning a little more about what it entails, write to us, or you can even visit our website directly. And there's another program, which is the advanced level, which is called the Enterprise Agile Coach Bootcamp. So again, this is bringing, equipping coaches with the knowledge and skills required to guide organizations through these agile transformations, both at the team level and the enterprise level also. So you're learning different coaching techniques, different frameworks, different strategies, to be able to effectively support your teams out there. Yeah. So if you are interested, you can book a seat, or book a one-on-one also. Just write an email to us, and you can book in a slot, even just to have a conversation with us to kind of understand what is it that you are looking for, and we are happy to help you with that journey. All right. So with that, I come to an end with my webinar. So let me stop sharing and see if there are any questions or thoughts out there. All right. So on that note, I would like to thank everybody for joining in, and see you soon in a future webinar of ours, or maybe a class too.